China has been making a big push towards carbon neutrality, towards environment protection for quite some time now. What do you think are China's strengths, and what can other developing countries learn from China in this regard?
So, environmental sustainability adaptation to climate change is a key challenge for the world, but particularly for IFAD's target group. Small rural farmers and communities are generally the least able to adapt to climate change. They don't have the resources, they don't have the money, they are so reliant on the climate and weather for their livelihoods and their production that they are the ones most vulnerable and most affected by climate change. So it's really, really important. China has gone a long way at trying to develop policies and practical tools for adapting to climate change in rural communities. So there's a lot we can learn on there. We were just talking earlier, and I think a key lesson for us is about solar. Absolutely so important, not just for irrigation, but for all aspects of it. Secondly, is climate proofing infrastructure. In fact, when I was here last time, I visited our projects in Hunan, and it was at a time in July, where there was significant flooding going on. And I remember one of the dikes had broken and was flooding large areas. And this is not a China issue, this is a global issue. So how are we going to make climate-proof infrastructure? For example, a lot of programs in a country like Bangladesh, which is one of the most affected by climate change, at ensuring that roads are all-weather roads. So even with flooding, how do you keep rural areas open so farmers can get their inputs so they can get to markets? China's done a lot in this area on climate-proofing infrastructure as well. But also there's the innovation side of things around technologies. And I think there are particular technologies around digital access to services for farmers, improving weather prediction for farmers given how dependent they are, where China has made great strides, and we've got plenty we can learn on that side.
As you mentioned a couple of times, technology. Right now, AI is the popular topic around the world, and many countries, China included, are trying to integrate it into its agriculture, into its entire society and production systems. First of all, how significant do you think this development is? And second of all, what has impressed you the most?
I think it's very significant. I think the challenge for us is that it benefits poor rural communities, small farmers. So how do you make AI work that it's really inclusive and they benefit from it? Because there's risks as well as opportunities. You could easily see AI increasing the rural-urban divide rather than narrowing the rural-urban divide. So we really need that. I think China has been making strides in that, as other countries have. So we were just talking about climate change and weather. AI has now, one of the biggest challenges is weather forecasting has often been at a more provincial level or a national level, whereas we know that weather is quite variable, and you can go 50 kilometers down the road and the weather is completely different. Actually, what AI has done has made accessible these large forecasting models to translate to, you can get it down to village level, almost to farm level. So you can tell a farmer, the rain will come in 2 days' time, plant now, or there will be no rain, it's not coming, so you need to take action. That is absolutely significant, and China's been doing a lot around that too, but also linked to what China's been doing, where I think AI makes a big difference, and we're seeing this in some other countries as well, is how do you use AI to build digital platforms, integrated platforms for farmers, where they can go not only for weather, they can go for prices, they can go for access to extension services through one digital platform which is AI enabled. Just a simple example with AI is you can get right down to local language models, so the farmer, the small farmer, can go in their local language and get an answer in their local language to, for example, I have this problem in my field with this pest, what do I do about it? So you can really focus down on the specifics of that area through an integrated model. And by having digital farmer registries and then using a platform and AI to bring them together, it's very transformative to that. And we've been testing that in China and in a number of countries, and we've seen a real change on that side of things. But it needs to be done at scale. And again, this is why we look to China as well, because you're very good at taking things to scale.